All right, let's try and get it into this thing. There we go. Hey guys, so today I want to discuss a 10-day silent meditation retreat. So many lessons, and from those lessons I'm like feeling very blessed. So overall it was a life-changing experience. Like I'm feeling like I've taken so many practices and new morals from it, and ways to live my life each day with intention, mindfulness, value, and a lot of metta, a lot of love. So metta love. Yeah. How the day worked and what to expect. Well, firstly, if you ever go into something like this, best thing is to have no expectations, is to leave them at the gate, leave them at the door, and let your mind then be as clear and limitless and vast as it can be. There's infinite potential when you don't limit yourself with expectations, and this really comes into life as well. If you expect too much of yourself, sometimes it can be hard to meet it, and other times, it puts a lot of pressure on. However, we can form structure to meet our goals, and this is what I want to talk about. So each day there was a nice structure and setup, and for the mind that was so beneficial, because it meant that the mind didn't have to think about what it was doing each day, right? Like it was there, like to have a well, truly good, divine day full of intention and practices. And again, I know it's not the real world, but we can take this into daily life, having structure, having routine, having practices to do. It allowed the mind space to be free to think of other things that are maybe not more important, but it gave the mind that break and that time. So structure, routine has become a beautiful thing of mine. I used to do everything at one time, like getting ready, trying to put earrings in whilst packing, whilst and then eating food whilst messaging someone, while doing like a million other distractions. And I'm gonna get into what I've learned, but it taught me just to like take a moment, take one thing at a time, and be mindful of everything you're doing. So right now I am so mindful and committed to sending this knowledge and this insight and love forward to you. So the structure of the day, we would wake up at 4:30 and to a bell. All right, so there was this bell that would ring across the whole site, and there's a lake there, and there's like lots of grass and trees. Like it's a beautiful spot within a forest. So the bell would ring, it would be dark, and it would just be before sunrise, so dawn is coming, and we would go up and go to the meditation hall that faces east. They all face east towards the sun. Do 30 minutes of meditation, and that was a great time to just check in with how have I risen today, how do I feel. And you can do that just for like a minute or two in the morning. Just wake up and like notice and ask, where am I at? How do I feel today? So 30 minutes meditation. Then it was yoga time, so we had about an hour to do self-practice, or a yoga teacher, if someone knew how to teach yoga or movement, then there would be a group practice. So you were free to kind of do that. First few days I joined the group, but self-practice to me is very important. Listening to my body and what the body needs each day. This changes. Everything is impermanent. Everything changes. Every day the body might feel different from the day before, how we develop. So anyway, listening to the body, did a daily flow, was like so helpful. And this movement for meditation, like getting the back straight, is really good. So then we would go back and do some more meditation for about an hour. And then the bell would go and we would break fasting. We would go and have some like this rice soup and a banana and some herbal teas and sorted. Then 2 hours break, around like 9, like go and have a hot spring, go and do any chores. Like everyone had their own thing that they like to do to keep our space nice and work as a community. And then we would go and into, after the 2 hours, another practice. So we would listen then to a Dhamma talk. It's on Anapanasati, and like Vipassana meditation and the Dhamma. So being like Buddhist, the teachings of morals and the law of nature, and the teachings of Buddha. And then we'd have some free time practice time. So it was either walking, standing or sitting meditation. You can do it lying down as well, but they don't there. So you have some time for practice. I would do walking to focus the mind. I would focus on a leaf, and then I would focus the mind in, and on each step, lifting the foot, moving the foot, putting it back down, and keep, the mind drifts, and you bring yourself back to it. Then we would have a group session as well, and then of sitting meditation, and then we would go for lunch at the place at Swanmok. The food is incredible, like different curries, like purple potato curry that we had. It was all vegetarian, so loads of veg, rice with every meal, right? So I did get a bit constipated, but everything is as it is. I'm all right now. And yeah, beautiful food, like hot broths full of like mushrooms and vegetables, and just really good nutritional food. So that's something to keep up, is just eating clean from Mother Earth. And we would recite something, a kind of mantra or prayers or alms to the food, So we would be thankful for the food, realise actually that it's not for beautification. Food is not for greed and getting things in that sense. It's just to nourish the body to then help develop a spiritual life, or develop your life, So food just helps us to be in that in our lives in the healthiest way. That's what food is for. It's nutrition, and it's not a relationship of like joy and hate, of greed and pleasure. But do enjoy every mouthful with respect and consideration for where it's come from and the hands that it's gone through. So yeah, we would have food, and then after food again, another break. So like the lunchtime, I started with just having a nap, and then actually as the 10 days went on, I started then going into the nature and just doing more seated meditation. And then we would come to group practice again, talks on how to live a good life, on the Dhamma, group meditation and self-practice. And then in the evening, again, we would come in for meditation when it started to get dark and sunset, and then we would walk around the lake, and it was almost like a ritual to end the day. And then we would go one more time, meditate with Metta. We would do a Metta loving meditation as well every day, so channeling love from self out into from then your teachers, what you've learned that day, to your loved ones, to the people around you, to the country you're in, to the world, to anyone that you need to forgive. So metta love at the end of the day, and gratitude is what I do every day now. And then we would go to sleep at about 9:30 and wake up at 4:30 again. So yeah, that's like a day in the life there. And day 9 was like complete silence. Even the teachers didn't talk. No Dharma lessons. Complete silence, and it was incredible. There's like the most iridescent blue bug. Breaking points and breakthroughs. So from kind of sometimes the challenges, right? We have the breakthroughs. From the times that we struggle and we see it for what it is and we release it and we move through it and just observe it with kind of respect and humour and just almost being like, okay, let's see this for what it is. My breaking points was overthinking of the future. My mind was mainly going off into the future, and this could be for creative and positive thoughts. This also could be for doubts and worries. Mainly worry was coming through for me of what is next, what am I doing next? And of course, now, humour, right? I was in 10 days silent with no phone, no journal, how am I going to plan the next part of my life? I don't know. It was that frame of time. So I was, I spent so much time being like, Australia or home, travel or blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I also got to break out of that and see that is not me. That is just a voice in the mind. So the main breakthrough that I had was then seeing layers of the environment, of the external, and the layers of the internal, and how to see and observe those. So I'd like you to, for a moment, imagine and actually listen now to the space around you. If you hear any sounds, any birds, or chatting, talking, or a lawnmower going, or maybe even just the silence, notice that almost as a layer to perceive. And then hear my voice and see my voice coming through to you as another layer of perception. That's something you can observe. And then come to your skin and notice your skin and your body as another layer to observe. And then notice your mind. And over time you start to see the thoughts that come in, that you get trapped and travel through. Becomes almost reality, becomes what the external reality is. Then the mind becomes, if we focus on the mind. And that's just another layer. Just like you hear the birds or my voice, the mind is just another layer to witness. The thoughts are not self. And this is the breakthrough I had, that the I, me, mine, the self, what I would call me, I, isn't who I am. The mind, this layer of the mind that says I and mine, I am this, or I want this, or I'm going there, or that I is just thought. It is just thought. And once we realise that, we can see the thoughts that are serving and non-serving, and we can detach or unattach from being thought, knowing that you are not your thoughts. It is just another layer to perceive and observe. Just like the birds, just like my voice, the mind is just another sound that we can either focus and act upon, or we can let go and let the thought pass. And then just take a moment to feel your breath. And this is the practice, is to come into the breath, in and out through the nose. I'm going to have another video of Anapanasati and meditation, kind of beginner's guide and what it is. But for now, just to know that the breath is another focus point. The breath is your life sustainer, and it is a beautiful place to put your focus on. Just deepen the breath for a moment here. So those are some of the breakthroughs that I had in the 10 days silent Buddhist meditation retreat. Alright, so coming back into the real world, and for a moment I just want to show you my current real world and the space that I'm in. The 11th day of the month, you leave the site, and we all got put together to get a taxi or an open truck back to Suratani, which is the nearest city point. The drive there was really uncomfortable, going from complete silence to a lot going on, and a lot of people starting to come out as well with all their ideas and insights, and so you just then choose what you want to tune into. I think coming out of it, if you ever meet other people that you resonated with, on this sense that there was no talking, so who you actually, who's going the same direction as you, and and then I've been in this beautiful space. But really, it's about it's not where you go or who you're with, it's about what you take with you, right? And the practices and the person that you've become stepping out of that. So for me now, I carry the practices with me every day. So I have structure. I have this routine. Now I get up at 5:30. I gave myself an extra hour in bed. But I have structured times now to do things. And that's really freeing up space. And it means that when I do that thing, I'm fully invested. 100% attention, concentration on that thing, right? So break it down. It's like, and then when you have social time, you're in it, you're having it, you're enjoying it to its fullest potential. So some of those morals that, or some of the lessons that I took with me, was to do one thing at a time and do it with full mindfulness, meaning that the mind is fully aware of that thing that you're doing. So one thing at a time with full awareness. This silence that I took, it was noble silence. So it's not just about not talking, it's about how we kind of tread on the earth and what noises we're making when we're doing things, right? So it's actually about how I tread on this earth now as well. I've never been elegant, really. I'm quite like a let's go, if I'm in the room kind of thing. But especially in the mornings, can I tread gently with the earth, and then thinking about the earth, working with nature, looking into nature for insight and connection, of knowing that I am a part of this, has been one of the biggest breakthroughs as well. And my impact on the planet really came through. So how to just reduce my impact and live in a harmonious way with Mother Earth, with Gaia, with love. So what my needs and wants are, seeing the mind and that I, and that self, what do I actually need, and what am I just craving, and what do I want? So looking into that. Oh gosh, compassion is compassion's been one of the biggest things. So whatever situation you're in, just knowing that everyone has suffering and everyone has something going on, and saying what you need, but also then, giving space and just being at ease with kind of things that are happening. Oh my gosh, there's a massive bee. So having compassion, taking one thing at a time, living in gratitude and mindfulness, treading gently on this earth, and caring for self, and in that caring then for others. So this has been an incredible experience. In the end I came out and I did decide to come back to the UK, so I'm going back home to the UK soon to start my yoga teacher training. That's the next step. So sending all this love, metta, blessings, nature from Thailand to you, from my heart to you. If you ever want to know how to get involved in meditation, in a 10-day silent retreat, in how to travel the world, anything like that, please drop me a message, or you can find me on my socials. Best to message me through the Instagram page or email me. And I'm here for one-to-one coaching. Also do like a free connection call as well. So if you're ever interested in things of travel, of meditation, yoga, inner work, and if anything resonated with you in this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and go and find some love today. Go and show some compassion today. Go and take one thing at a time, and remember to breathe gently. So yeah, I will leave you with my favourite quote, that I am you, you are me, me and you